Okay, so let's learn. Sefer Chagai. We're in the second perek. This book of Chagai only has 2 perakim, 2 chapters. Making a siyum on Chagai today. Mazal tov.
Dinner.
See, to dinner. Yeah, Yaakov's going to sponsor breakfast tomorrow. Okay, second perek. So you remember the first perek we learned on Monday, or it's already forgotten?
Yeah, remember.
Okay. So, בשביעי ב-21 לחודש, היה דבר השם ביד חגי הנביא לאמור. בשביעי, what שביעי is the month of Tishrei. ב-21 לחודש, the 21st day of the month. What day is that?
מה זה, ספירת תורה?
הושענא רבה? הושענא רבה. היה דבר השם ביד חגי הנביא לאמור. חגי הנביא has a nevuah. Now, I don't think it's a coincidence that a nevuah happens on Hoshana Rabbah. אמור נא אל זרובבל בן שלתיאל פחת יהודה. Go tell Zerubbabel, who is remember he's from Memshela, he's the descendant of David HaMelech. He's from Achut Yehuda. Zerubbabel ben Shaltiel Pachat Yehuda. And he's the leader appointed over the Jewish people. Though Yoshua ben Yohatzadak HaKohen Gadol, and Yoshua ben Yohatzadak, who was the Kohen Gadol, remember we told his father was the last Kohen Gadol in Beit Rishon, and now he's the Kohen Gadol now. Ve'el Sherit Ha'am Lemor, go tell Zerubbabel, Yehoshua the Kohen Gadol, and Sherit Ha'am. Mi bachem hanishar asher ra'a et habayit hazeh. Who among you is still here that was zocher to see the first Bet HaMikdash? B'chvodo harishon, in its first honor. Uma atem ro'im oto ata. And look how you see it today. Halo chamo ke'ayin be'enechem. You're seeing now the construction project we're starting now in the second Bet HaMikdash. It looks like ke'ayin be'enechem. It's nothing in your eyes compared to the first Bet HaMikdash. Ve'ata now chazek Zerubbabel, strengthen yourself. Neum Hashem. Ve'chazak Yoshua ben Yotzadak HaKohen HaGadol. Yoshua the Kohen Gadol, strengthen yourself. Ve'chazak kol ha'amaret, Neum Hashem. And the whole nation should strengthen themselves. Ve'asu, don't hold back, build it anyways. Even though it's not the same grandeur as before. Ki ani idchem Neum Hashem tzivakot. I'm with you. Don't worry. Ani idchem. My Shekhinah will be shoreh on a less building as much as a big building. I'm with you. Now, if you look in Sefer Ezra, we have a little bit of a background story. In Sefer Ezra, it says on Chag HaSukkot, they started, the foundations were already built 18 years before, in the days of Koresh. When Koresh commissioned to build the Bet HaMikdash, but they stopped it. The enemies of the Jewish people had to stop the construction. So now Chagai comes 18 years later, says now it's the time to build it. Even though Koresh, even though Daryavish, who's Esther's son, who's now king, has not yet commanded to build it, go anyways. Don't worry about it. He won't go against it. Just build. And they were hesitant to build. So, Sefer Ezra says on Chag HaSukkot, they started the building and everything else, and they made a celebration. And they started blowing shofarot because we're going to begin inaugurating and begin building the Bet HaMikdash. And while they're blowing shofar and half the nation is celebrating, the other half the nation is crying. Why is the other half nation crying? Because the ones who never saw the first Bet HaMikdash are excited about a possibility of building a Bet HaMikdash. The ones who saw the first Bet HaMikdash are in tears. This is it? This is the Bet HaMikdash? And they're crying. So Chagai Navi says, you saw the first building, right? And you're in tears. Don't worry about it. Chazak, be strong, Zerubbabel. Be strong, Yoshua. Be strong, the nation. Ani idchem Neum Hashem. I'm with you. The Shekhinah will be there anyways. And then he says, Et davar asher karati itchem b'tzetchem miMitzrayim. The brit that I made with you when you left Mitzrayim, Ruchi omed betochechem. My ruach is still with you in your midst. Al tirau, don't be afraid. So here we've had chazak 3 times. You have to strengthen the nation because they're depressed, right? Chazak, go asu and build it. Don't worry. Ani idchem. I'm going to be with you. The next nevuah of Chagai, there's 3 or 4 different ways of learning it. I'm going to first go with the Malbim, and if we have time, we'll go through others. You can ask a question. So first of all, you have to know, in a simple level, they were poor. They had no money. They had nothing. They're gathering some wood to go build the Bet HaMikdash, right? There's no funding, there's no money to make it in its grandeur and its beauty. It's not there. And on a deeper level, we already said yesterday, that in the first perek, the kabedah is missing the hay. because all the nisim, the first 5 constant nisim in Bayit Rishon are not going to be there in Bayit Sheni, right? It's a whole different level of Bet HaMikdash. It's not what it was. We don't have the Shekhinah's revelation is not there. It wasn't with nisim and niflaot like we had in Mitzrayim. There's no miracles here, right? We're getting together, some people breaking their backs and putting up a building, right? You don't have no wonders, no miracles, no need. So it's a depressing way. Those who recognize the first Beit HaMikdash are depressed.
What does it say? Don't be afraid instead of don't be depressed or sad about the. But it says don't be afraid. What they are afraid of.
Good question. Good question. The Shekhinah is not, and Pshat HaPashut, Al Tirah, the Shekhinah is not going to be with them. They're not going to have the same Gilu Shekhinah as they had before. So Hashem says, Al Tirah, I'm still with you. But not as much as Bayit Rishon. Okay.
Bayit Rishon, the Shekhinah was revealed.
Much more revealed than Bayit Sheni.
The second one
Well, it was
like,
much.
like a hidden.
Right. Right. Oh, so the second of it was like this. Ki כה אמר Hashem tzvakot. Od achat me'at. Another one. Od achat means another one. Me'at means a little. V'ani marish et hashamayim v'et haaretz v'et hayam v'et harava. And I will shake the heavens and the earth, the sea and the dry land. What's od bechad me'at? What's another one in a little bit? So the way we're going to go with the Malbim Shat first, and maybe we go back and maybe learn with Rashi. But the Malbim says like this. What's od echad me'at? So the Malbim says, if you would just add a little bit more spirit, od echat, a little bit more ruach, me'at, a little bit more. If you would give of yourselves, you awaken yourselves, do it, teshuvah, do more mitzvot, do masim tovim, a little bit more. Then ani marish et Hashem et haaretz v'et hayam v'charava. I will shake the world. V'irashti et kol hagoyim. And I will actually shake all the nations of the world. Ubau chamdat kol hagoyim. And all the signs and wonders that you wanted, that you were expecting from Bayit Sheni, I will bring you now also. That has to come from you. My ruach is still here a little bit. You still have nevuah here. Nevi'im, Chagai is still around. The last few nevi'im is still alive. Nevuah is still here, still with you. I'm still with you. But if you give me a little bit more, right, you give of yourselves a little bit more, then what you're looking for, nisim and niflaot, that will come. Ubau chemdat kol hagoyim. And all the chemdah, right, of all the nations of the world, all the gifts. Now fill this house with glory. All the nations will come out and give their gifts and donations, and you'll have abundance. We'll build the most grander building, and the whole world will recognize Hashem and recognize the Beit HaMikdash, and it will be the final Mikdash. No, the Nebuah Beit HaShlishi, but they can bring it now, right? Od me'at ruchi. If you just give a little bit more of yourselves. And then we'll have Gog. The nation will come together. We'll have Gog and Magog. Because Hashem says, at the end of the day, the whole world will recognize the money is mine. What they've been pursuing their whole life, the whole world history. It's all mine. And then this second house, the second Beit HaMikdash will be even greater than the first. Amar Hashem Tzvakot. And in case of, instead of milchama and all the strife which you see in Sefer Ezra, where there's a lot of instigation against what's going on and a lot of nations around trying to stop this building, eten shalom, there'll be peace in the world. Nu'um Hashem Tzvakot. It's up to you. But you have to give that little bit more ruach. You have to commit yourself more. And if you can be mitorer and waking yourself up, we can bring Bayit Shlishi now. And this Bayit Sheni will be the Bayit Acharon. That's what the Malbim learns it. Rashi has a different pshat. And Rashi says like this. Yeah, we have time, we'll do a Rashi. We're not going to do it, and maybe we'll see. We have one more nebuah to go. Okay. Ki chomar Hashem tzvakot od echad me'at. What's od echad me'at? A little bit. So Rashi says, there's a little bit left for Malchut Paras. There's a little bit of time left for them. And then I'm going to bring another nation, Malchut Yavan. And Me'at Yezman Memshalta, Rashi says, they're going to rule only for a little bit. So the time for Malchut Paras, the Persian Empire, is almost over. and Greece is going to come into the scene, and you'll see 34 years into the second Bet HaMikdash, Yavan takes over, right? So it's only a bit. Vani Marish, and I'm going to shake the heavens and the earth. Benisim, which Nisim are we talking about? They're going to happen through Chanukah, right? And which means you're going to defeat this Greek nation. And V'yavin, right? And Marish Ta'aretz, the ground that's with wars, and the Chashmonim are going to be successful, but also the Shamayim. Why? Because everybody will recognize the Shekhinah Shora Israel. And that's actually the miracle of what? Of the Nerot of Chanukah. The Shekhinah is still with Klal Israel. So the whole world was V'ra'ashti Kol HaGoyim. And you worry about this Bet HaMikdash not being so beautiful. Don't worry, the money is mine. We'll make it beautiful. Bet HaMikdash will be beautiful. Gadol yeh. In reality, the second Bet HaMikdash will be greater than the first one. In what way? So Machloket, Rashi brings Machloket in the Gemara. Either Beshanim, will last longer. First one lasted 410 years. Second one lasted 420 years. Or the size. Because the size of the second Bet HaMikdash was bigger than the size of the first Bet HaMikdash. So in some aspects, even though you don't have the Gdula and the Nisim of the first Bet HaMikdash, in some aspects, this house will be even bigger than the first. That's how Rashi learns it. But we're not discussing the Atid Lavo, the future, but he's giving him a glimpse of what's going to happen. Machut Paras and Madai, and don't worry, you'll have, eventually Bet HaMikdash will be built with riches, and it'll be in a beautiful level. That's the first Nevuah. And according to the Mabim, though, it makes much sense why the vision is on Hoshana Rabbah. Hoshana Rabbah is David, the last day of Sukkot. Hoshana Rabbah is all about Mashiach. What he's telling the Nebuah is coming on Hoshana Rabbah, telling them, you can bring Mashiach. It's in your hands. The Talui Bachem. Right? It's Hoshana Rabbah. Navi Chagai is giving you the Nebuah on Hoshana Rabbah. But it's up to you. And that's Pashut how the Malbim learns it. Oh, now Besrim Ba'al Tishi, by now with the 24th day of what? Of the Tishi, of the 9th month. What is that? 24th of Kislev. Also not a coincidence, the date. When is Chanukah? 25th, right? Vishnach time the Daryavish, we're still in the second year of Daryavish. Ken Yankele. Hayad Devar Hashem biyad Chagai and Avi Lemor. We had Devar Hashem in the hands of Chagai saying, Ko Amar Hashem Tzvakot, she'alna et HaKohanim Torah Lemor. I want you to ask the Kohanim Torah, the following Torah, following question. And again, we're going to learn it like the Malbim, and it's a mashal. And ask the Kohanim mashal. Mashal goes as follows: Hen yisa ish basar kodesh bechnaf bigdo. If a person would carry basar kodesh, basar that's called like it's kadosh, basar v'korban, bechnaf bigado, in the folds of his garment, which was common to carry things that way, right? Like we have pockets; they had pockets in the fold of their garments. V'naga bechnafo et alechem, and the garment that was holding the basar kodesh touches bread. Velanazir, and touches a food, right? Valayain, Velshemen touches wine, oil. Vetkol ma'achal touches any food. Hayikdash, would that food become sanctified just by coming in contact with basar kodesh? The Kohanim answer no. Kedusha doesn't spread that way. Vayomer Chagai. How about imigat tameh nefesh becholele? Haitma. But what if he was holding a piece of tameh nefesh, a piece of something that's tameh, a human being that's tameh, right? A piece of a bone that's a kazayit in his garment, that's tameh. Haitma, and it touches all these things. Would they become tameh? And the Kohanim will answer, yes, it will become tameh. So Vayan Chagai Vayomer. Chagai answers and says, Ken hamazeh. וכן הגוי הזה לפניי, הנה הוא השם. וכן כל מעשי ידיהם, ואשר יקריבו שם טמאו. So the way the Malbim learns it, Mashal is like this. Kedusha doesn't spread that easily. Tumah, I touch physically on the outside, Tumah spreads everywhere. Right? Tumah is very easy to spread. To spread Kedusha takes a lot more. By touching Kedusha, exterior Kedusha, you're not becoming Kadosh. How do you become Kadosh? How would it become Kadosh? If the juices of the meat would get absorbed into the food, into the wine, into that, now it has Kedusha. So what he's telling them, the mashal is, when it comes to tumah, unfortunately, to become influenced by the people around you in a negative way, that's 2 seconds. Like this, and I'm influenced in a negative way. But to become kadosh, it's got to come from the inside. It's got to be absorbed on the inside. So he's giving him a musar, and he's telling them, when now you're building the second Beit HaMikdash, if it's just a building, what is it? You have to put your heart into it. You have to put your lev into it. You got to put your guts into it, right? And then you'll see it'll become great. He's still giving him musar about really becoming this Beit HaMikdash that can become, the potential it still has. Therefore he says, so if you're just going to be an exterior and it's just going to be tameh, whatever you're going to bring in that Beit HaMikdash, it's just like, you bring me animals, you're going to kill animals for what purpose? It's tamehu. If it's not coming from within, from your lev, it's just exterior. I'm just walking around because this is how I act, because it's just a show. It's tamehu. What's it worth? Therefore now, simuna levavchem. Sim lev, put your heart. Pay attention with your heart. Min hayom hazev amala. From this day on, miterem shuv even el even be'echal Hashem. Before you start putting one stone on top of the other in Bechal Hashem, because now Chanukah, they're going to start building the Beit HaMikdash. Not a coincidence. When was it built by Cheni, starting the building? The foundation was set before, but when is the actual building starting? Chanukah. When is the Mishkan finished, completed? Chanukah. When was the Beit HaMikdash dedicated after the Greeks came in? Chanukah. It's not a coincidence. It's always on Chanukah. Right? But before you put one stone on top of the other, what? Simu levavchem. Make sure those stones are coming with your lev, your heart is into it, with the glahavut, and that's just an exterior thing. Till now, when we saw in the first perek, when you came into a bundle of wheat, you thought you had 20. What did you come out? You came to collect it. You had 10. You came to the wine vat to take out 50 measures of wine. What did you pull out? You pulled out 20. Hiketi etchem b'shidafon, because you were smit with shidafon, birakon, barad, basically with plagues that really killed out all your produce. V'et kol ma'aseh yedchem, and all the works of your hands. Ve'en etchem elai no'um Hashem. Therefore, simuna levavchem, pay attention. From the day that was the foundations of the Echal was set, pay attention. Right now is not yet time to plant, right? It's Chanukah time. It's not time to plant yet. However, if you put your heart into it, you start building Beit HaMikdash, your beracha will come from the Beit HaMikdash. And now you'll have beracha from on forward. Since until now you had kelala, now the Beit HaMikdash will bring you beracha. And the last nevuah, I'm sorry I couldn't tell you the other pshatim here because we got to move. Vahid devar Hashem shenit el Chagai be'esim v'aba lachodesh nemor. And now we have a second nevuah on the 24th of Kislev. And this nevuah is specifically only to Zerubbabel, not to anybody else. Emor Zerubbabel pachat Yehuda lemor. Tell Zerubbabel, the leader of Yehuda, I'm going to shake heaven and earth. And I'm going to turn over the nations of the world, their kingdoms. I'm going to destroy the strength of the kingdom of the nations of the world. And what's going to happen is, I'm going to turn over the chariots and their horses. And each one will put the head of ish be'achiv, right? They'll destroy each other. And on that day, I'm going to take you, Zerubbabel ben Shaltiel, Avdi Neum Hashem, my servant. V'samticha kachotam. And I'll place you. What's a chotam? Chotam is a signet ring. Who wears a signet ring? King. A king. I'm going to make you the king, the Melech al Israel. Because I chose you, Neum Hashem Tzvakot.
The Mashiach?
Oh, so Zerubbabel was supposed to be Mashiach. So one way of learning it, he's saying if the Jewish people awaken, this will happen, you will be Mashiach. But what he's telling him, even though right now the Beit HaMikdash is not where it should be, you can't be king. because Paras is king, and then Yavan's going to take over. And you can't appoint yourself king because all you're going to do is get your head chopped off, right? You're a surrogate kingdom. You're not a kingdom on your own. But in the future, I'm going to keep my promise, and I'm going to make you king, right? And Mashiach will be through you, or will come from your descendant, Hashem. But you have my word that Malchut Yehuda will sit again on the throne of Eretz Yisrael.
מזל טוב.
Mazal tov.
אחינו. תודה רבה כבוד הרב.
תודה שבאת.